Hello and welcome to the Motorway Man and welcome back to another episode. Now, a few days ago I released this video here and I was basically asking you guys to tell me where the nearest service station to my location was based off nothing really more than this sign right here. So in today's episode I'm going to be showing you the ways how you could have worked it out, and then I'll be checking out a couple of answers in the comment section there. So let's start with where then it all began. A couple of days back I put out this announcement here, or a post. You can access it in the post section of the channel page there. So you've got the home, the videos, the shorts, the playlists and the posts. So if you click on posts, it brings you up with this. Now I'll reread you the announcement then if you missed it. So it said, coming Sunday, a new YouTube short. As it's been very hot recently, Motorway Man was walking in the countryside and he had an idea, and he wondered what the closest service station to his location was right now, because he couldn't really get much further away from the motorway. So I picked a point with some discrete signs for you guys to tell me where the nearest service station was to me right now in terms of geographic distance, point to point. Good luck, subscribe, etc. So basically I left you guys with these pictures here to sort of give you a brief idea, and then the video that we've just been looking at as well. So that's sort of what we had to work with then. So I'll pop the bit of the video back on. So that's what I had to show you guys. So this is the video right here. Now if I jump up here and I hit the pause button and I pause it on that sign, you can basically see a few of the places that I was roughly in the area of, and that gives you a rough guide. So we can see here I'm probably in Wales based off the interesting spellings. And obviously, as we can see, a nearby spot is somewhere called Closest Abbey. So that's probably a good bet for us to start with. So probably what you want to do is nip over to an app such as Google Maps, something like this. And obviously we know that I was close by to Closest Abbey. So if we change it now to the toss in Closest Abbey in there, can see it top one in the search bar there. It'll take us to obviously where that is, and we can see it's roughly right here, and it's by this nice stream as well. Now another thing you could do if you wanted to work out bang on where I was, if you jump in an app like Google Earth where you get like a real-time Earth view, you could also jump in to where Closest Abbey is. So if you didn't know the sort of rough location, again what you can do, you can jump into the search bar there and just type it in and it will come up. And there we are, as we can see it's taken us right there. We've got a fact file in the corner there as well. So this is basically sort of the rough area where it leaves us. And then as well, because it's Google Earth, we can jump into the 3D view as well, which sort of sees roughly where we are. So if I was close to a sign that said Closest Abbey, which is this ruined church building there, you can obviously assume that I was along some sort of path. And if you really want to know where I was about right there, I would say. I was about there. So that was the location where the motorway man was. So like I said, if you were looking at this sign and you pause the short right there, you can see where it says Closest Abbey. So then you can stick that into a mapping app like Google Maps here, or you could stick in something like Google Earth as well to get an Earth view. So I was roughly along there. But that's only the first part of what we have to do in today's episode, because now we've worked out where I am, which is that well, I've told you where I am, but if you're working it out and you went for the Abbey, then we need to work out where the nearest service station is. Now as you can see, I'm well in the countryside, lots of mountains and things of that nature, but obviously we know roughly where I am. So what you could do is you could jump into Google Maps again, and you could just search for service station, and obviously it would bring up a bunch of local service stations to wherever you are searching from. So obviously we can see that there's one here, this little fellow, Park Lane Services, and the Bergen Garage, excuse my pronunciation. And then we've got one over here, Stands of Llangollen. Again, nice Welsh pronunciation. So obviously it brings up a bunch of local sort of services. But I asked for motorway services. So what you could do is you could get a road atlas. They've got a lot of them in. Or if you know them anyway, you can just sort of look for the nearest motorways. And obviously it is bringing one of them up there, which is Chester Services, operated by Road Chef. So what you can do to make extra sure is if you go back into the map here and you bring up the Abbey and then you jump right in. Google Maps at the top here. Excuse the leopard print blanket, by the way, just trying to block out the sunlight for you. If you jump in here and you stick in a starting point right there, you can actually measure the distance to another point. So if we go over here and we measure the distance to Chester Services, which is there, you can see it's 40.29 kilometers away. Now, if you wanted to cross-reference that with, say, other motorway service stations, obviously we know that there's one in Knutsford over here. So again, we just sort of drop that pointer in there. And obviously we can see it's 63. So Chester's the closest. If you wanted to go down, there's one in Sandbach, as we know, as well as Kiel. And you can check all of these sites if you wanted to be extra sure. So the one in Sandbach is 59. But again, not as close as Chester. If again you wanted to scroll down, you could check the site in Kiel, 59 kilometers. Again, Chester's the closest. And if you wanted to go even further down, you could do things like check the site in Telford, 57. So that does mean to us that the closest motorway service station to us is, of course, Chester Services, which I believe, let me check the comments here, a lot of you did say. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got a comment here that says Chester on the M56 and another comment that says Chester on the M56. So great job to you guys. So yeah, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. So you got to look for the clues like that sign, then work out where I am. And then lastly, you got to cross-reference with multiple different apps and sort of see what you're doing. So thanks for stopping by. There'll probably be one of these sometime in the future. I'm working on a service station quiz, for a motorway quiz I should say, for Sunday, so you can look forward to that. And I'll catch you on Sunday. Subscribe and goodbye.